begin, I'd like to quickly review 2 items, our code of conduct and event guidelines. First, please take a moment to review our code of conduct. Microsoft Reactor seeks to provide a respectful environment for both our audience and presenters. We encourage engagement in the chat, but please be mindful of your commentary, remain professional and on topic. And secondly, our event guidelines. The session is being recorded and will be available on demand through the Microsoft Reactor YouTube channel in about 24 to 48 hours. I will be sharing the link in the chat for our YouTube channel. And if you've not been on a live stream through YouTube before, please note that you must create an account in order to access or interact in the chat. You can set that up now, and if you're unable to use the chat but have questions, feel free to reach out to us through social media or on Meetup. Which brings us to today's session. I'm going to bring in our speaker, Bruno, here to take over. Hey, Bruno.
Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to another session, Microsoft Reactor. And hey, super cool topic today. Let's do some OpenAI. There is a lot of fuss right now around AI stuff that we can do. And a big fan of the Power Platform. I'm a big fan of the Power Platform. So today, let's see how we can connect the dots and use some amazing models like ChatGPT or close to ChatGPT into the Power Platform. Before I start, I'm not going to do slides. I only have a few slides. So I am going to go super fast here. I am wearing a Copilot t-shirt. I am in my office, a black Copilot t-shirt. I like it. My office with a lot of lights and a lot of amazing stuff. And mainly today what we want to see mostly around how we can build Power Platform stuff, how we can use these OpenAI models, and how we can use the APIs. So this is the main ABCs. And as usual, I start with a huge disclaimer. Sorry for the crappy demos, the crappy jokes, and everything else. But as I said, it's all about what we have. It's all about the stuff that we have. So let me show you really quickly here what are we talking right now. So I have here an example. I created a couple of apps. This is my studio. This is my demo account. And I pick up one of the templates. You probably know this template. This is a help desk template. It's a Power Up mobile application that basically gives you, as a user, the chance to create tickets. And hey, I can create a ticket. So I can go here, create a help desk ticket. I don't know. I will say that my printer is not working. And this is a laptop PC issue. And I say my printer is not working. My printer can't connect to my Wi-Fi. What can I do? So this is a standard ticket application. And you see here in the bottom that I have the create and cancel buttons, that I also have a super not cool, but this is the idea, ask ChatGPT. So when I click this button, what is going to happen? I am going to call one of the models, the OpenAI models, one of the models that is powering open ChatGPT, and I will have a response based in ChatGPT style. So I will say that I will have something like, make sure that you're connected to the correct Wi-Fi network on your device, check the printed power. Hey, this is like literally asking the model of ChatGPT. And this is one scenario that we are going to see today how to build it. Another scenario, let me close this one. Another scenario, and this is probably most helpful for me, is, hey, there is another template. There is another, we have here some problem with the users. There is another template, which I like it, which is a shout out, which is basically to give kudos to your colleagues, to your application. So the idea is that, let's do the intro, here it is. So I have my kudos app here, shoutouts here, and then I can send it to shoutout. So I am working with the user, I am working as Adele, and I want to send something to Alex. So when I select my colleague, I am going to say, okay, Alex, he really is a problem solver, and let's write a message here. So I am going to show another example where we are going to use OpenAI models in ChatGPT styles to see how we can basically write a better kudos message to this user. This is what we are going to see today. This is the stuff. And by the way, I did all of this and I just realized that I may have not published the latest shoutout version. So let me edit this one. and running from the from the environment. But all what I am going to do today is basically you can test it and try it for free. You can create a demo account of Power Platform and test the Power Platform. You can also use, I think it's for a couple of months and $80 the APIs for an open API. But yes, this is the one that I wanted to show you before. Sorry, I didn't publish the latest version. I am here, create a new shout out for Alex. Let's select another innovative perspective. I don't know, a thank you shout out. And I have here a new section that I created that, hey, if I write up to 3 custom messages to write to Alex, I will say he makes the best coffee. I will add another one. He really helped me. Alex make the right coffee. Alex really helped me when I was starting this job. And the third one is really, I don't know. I don't want to use really a lot. He is really focused, something like this. And I do generate. This is going to create, again, this is going to send this info specifically to ChatGPT, one of the models, to OpenAI, one of the models. And then I am going to have kind of a nice kudos here. And I will say, it basically suggests me to do, I want to take a moment to give a huge shout out to Alex. Not only he does make the best coffee, but he has been incredibly supportive and helpful since I started this job. Okay, I like how the model pick up the sentence that I write about I started this job, and also make this, and also add the third one, Alex is incredibly focused and dedicated. I'm so thankful. Hey, all of this is a standard power up that I am using right now using OpenAI models. And let's see how we are doing this. So let me go back here. Yes, let me go back to the slides. Remember, a few slides here. But why are we doing this? You've probably seen all of the fuss, you've probably seen all of the noise and the amazing stuff that we're seeing right now about these models. Even this week, we in Microsoft presented the new Bing experience, and there are other companies presenting new search experience, new way to navigate the world. It's crazy. There are a lot of stuff here. And what I really like in our site is that we have the chance to work with OpenAI. So the OpenAI, we have a partnership with them. And the idea is that we at Microsoft, and even people outside of Microsoft, can take advantage and use these models, the GPT models, the Codex module for coding, and the DALI. This is all under the Azure OpenAI services. I'm going to share links later for this. But here, what we can basically do, and this is my last slide, I am going to move to the full demo right now. What we can basically do is we can work with models to work with text, with the GPT-3 models. We are going to have access to better models anytime soon, but let's keep on GPT-3. And an example, write a tagline for an ice cream shop, and we have this. We can work with models to work with programming code. Not the focus today. I'm going to talk about this in future sessions. Or we can even generate images. Use DALI, one of the models, to generate images, Now imagine that we have all of these powers in our Power Apps. If we are creating a Power App for, I don't know, someone selling a house, and and we want to create a really nice tagline, so we can send to one of these models, okay, this is a house on a lake with 4 bathrooms, I don't know, make something. Give me a nice tagline for a tweet, and ChatGPT is going to help me to create this kind of idea. Or if I can generate a photo for something, we can use this kind of things. So I have a question right now that Microsoft owns ChatGPT? No. We have an amazing partnership with OpenAI, invested a lot of money there, and we have an amazing collaboration there, but no, there is no ownership here. So this is kind of the idea. This is kind of what we have. And how we do this, how we can start to do this. Remember, I promised no more slides. Let's go to the source. So what I have here, let's start with the help desk application. So I have here my help desk application, and I want to add in the specific screen where we create a ticket, I want to basically add these GPT-3 features. The way that we are going to do this, let me go here to the login screen. Let me go to create screen. This is the screen that I want to share. I have my ChatGPT button here. And the idea here is, Agile Code said that this is amazing, go Codex. Yes, Codex is really cool. And by the way, this is kind of a quick overview of mostly used GPT-3 for text processing. In future sessions, I am going to ask Alexia if she can share the links. We are going to run 3 sessions where we are going to specifically work in Power Apps, Power Automate, and virtual agents, where we are going to use the other models to generate images, to work with code. This is going to be much more advanced sessions. Today is kind of a high-level overview, but this application right now is kind of the same app that we see, but without any integration. How do we do the integration? How do we use these models? So we are super lucky because, let me go here, because OpenAI has a set of APIs. And this is a no-code session. I am a programmer by heart. So I like to have access to these APIs because I can write a couple of lines in Python. I can write a couple of lines in other languages, C#, other languages to make these calls. And what is an API? So basically an API is an endpoint. It's kind of a URL that we have that we can call, that we can make a call, and it's going to give us some answers. So I have here a tool which is called Visual Studio Code. And I know, because I read the documentation, that there are several endpoints. They are called endpoint, this URL. But in example, this one is going to give me a list of the available models that I have. I have a trial subscription in OpenAI. So if I call this, and this is basically like calling, like navigating a website, I am going to have this huge text in a specific format, which is called Json, that is going to have, okay, I have a model here, the ID is Babash, this is when it was created, it's owned by OpenAI, this is the permission model that I have here, there are other models, other models, then we have here Da Vinci models, so there are different type of models here. And hey, if I keep reading the documentation, I will understand how I am going to make requests. How can I do this type of activities? How I can ask for test completion, for code completion, for image generation, a lot of stuff here. So I can use, if I want, Visual Studio Code, in example, in this scenario, in this scenario, where I know that I am going to call this URL, and I need to pass this sentence, and it's going to give me kind of my response. And a couple of important things here. I am going to use a model. This model is Da Vinci 003. Depending on the model that you are using, there are going to be different pricing. This is not expensive right now for testing. I think you have 3 months and $18 to test this. But I am going to use Da Vinci, which is kind of the best one, if you want to see like this. Then I have the temperature and the max token. The temperature is go from 0 to 1, and it's basically how wild you want your response to be. And the token is basically how much information you're going to send. Again, if you want to read more about this, how this works, I strongly suggest you to go to the documentations. I am going to share the link right now here and start to take a look here, the key content, what is a prompt, what is a completion, how the token works. Don't get deep into the code part. We are going to do coding without this, but just to show you this, if I make, my question here is propose a name for my new cat. He's a black funny new kitten. And if I call OpenAI, it says, okay, you have a name here, and it's a full JSON, a full set of info, but we want to write this, which is midnight pops. Okay, like it. If I propose a name for my new, I don't know, instead of a cat, I have a dog, and he's a German shepherd, funny new puppy. Let's take a look. Oh, shepherd, sorry. Shepherd, this is basically my dog, Ace the puppy. And if I ask for a new name, it will take a while depending on how busy are the servers. Let me cancel this and send it again. And I will have here, oh, I like this one, Maximus. So I can call this web service and I can make the request right now to get information. So let's think let's think how we are going to do something like this, but in the Power Platform, which is basically what Agile is asking right now. You are not a programmer, you want to do this, you want to query this. Yes, let's do this in the Power Platform. And Nilufer, sorry if I am saying your name, but there are high chances that I am not saying your name in the right way. OpenAI without premium license, like embedding it via custom connector. You can create your own custom connector. Yes, I will suggest you, if you know how to do it, you can avoid premium doing your custom connector. Otherwise, what I am going to use today in my demo is the HTTP request connector, which I think it's premium. But okay, let's go here. Power Apps. I don't have code here right now. If I run this create ticket, if I call Ask GPT, it's going to show me an empty pop-up and go back here. So let's add some code to do this. How we are going to do this? How we are going to call this? So there is a super cool feature that we have here in Power Automate that basically connects our automates, connects our Power application with Power Automates with flows. So I'm going to create a new flow. The flow is a visual canvas. Let's create one from scratch, from blank. It's a visual canvas where I am going to have a trigger, in this case, that is going to trigger this flow, and then I can have activities, conditions, and so on. In this case, my trigger is going to be triggered by a Power App call from a button or from wherever, and my next step will be this call, an HTTP call. Remember that we call this in Visual Studio Code. So I am going to use here one of the connectors, which is the HTTP premium. And as we mentioned before, yes, this is a premium connector. But if you know how to write your own connector, you can use it. And I also think that Justin, my manager, he shared a link, I don't have it handy here, of a new connector for OpenAI, which is basically a wrapper around those codes. But I have here my call, so let's do this. Let's go for my method. I am going to make a post here, and then what I am going to do, I am going to basically enter the URL, and I have all of this info handy here. I can go here for my completion. I have my URL, and I am going to go for a couple of information that I need to enter here. Content type. I need to say this is application Json, and then in the auth, I need to copy the token. So here in the advanced options, I am going to say this is going to be basic, no username and password. I am going to add the password. This is when you create your account in OpenAI, you are going to have access to one token, to one key. This is my key today. I'm going to delete it as soon as we finish. And hey, once I have this, I can start to make my calls. And the URL, I have my URL somewhere here. There it is, completions. So I have my URL here, and that's it. Oh, no, it's not it. I need to add my body here. So in the body section, I am going to copy this code. What I need right now is to basically pass some information from my application to Power Apps to be used here instead of this prompt of proposing name for my new. So let's delete this. I don't need it, so let's delete this. Take a while, and then I am going to, sorry. I am going to ask in Power Apps. So I'm going to have here kind of a one request in the beginning that is going to be the prompt. I am not going to change the model. I'm still going to use the DaVinci 03. I'm still going to have kind of a high temperature, so kind of while generating, and a big token sets 1024. But that's basically it. That's the model that I want to use. The next thing that I want to do is basically give the response of this. So I can add a new step here, and if I go to Power App, I need to go close Power Apps. I will have here respond the Power App or Flow. So here I will have kind of an output. So I want to answer here with the text, and let's do this OpenAI Response. It is basically the name of the variable that I'm going to give back to the application, and in the value, I am going to pick up the information that I have from the call, and I am going to respond with the body. So this is it. this is my flow. Let's do this Reactor OpenAI Labs as the name. By the way, I'm using underscore here. Use whatever you need, whatever you want. But this is as simple as we want here. I will have a connector. I will have a flow here in my application that is I can call this and make a call to the power. There are a couple of more steps to make it work, but I think you get the idea. So right now, what I am going to do is in this button, in Ask ChatGPT, I am going to add some code. So I have here, I am going to define here a variable here. Let's open AI result. And this variable is going to basically store the content from my call, from the call that I am going to make to the OpenAI service. So let's do Reactor OpenAI Labs run, which is basically I am going to use, this is important, this flow that I have here, I am using the flow here, and I am saying, okay, run. I have the flow here, and I say, okay, run. When I say run, it's going to call and make the flow run. So, and I need to pass information. Remember that I need to do something in the body, and I can't remember the name of my description. So this should be ticket, bank screen, cancel, category, description, label, create screen, ticket screen, let me see my description. What is the name of this one? Let me see the name of this control. Tax description. Okay, so I go back here. Formula, I am going to say what? I didn't copy the name, sorry, I'm missing something. Text input. Copy, go back here to the button. So I'm going to run invoke the flow that I just created using this text file here. And then I am going to basically, I want to store in this variable OpenAI Response, the one that is connected to my pop-up. And I want to store here something that I get from the result. So I'm going to say OpenAI result dot, and I should have here, I need to use a different name. Taking the name, how something happened. Let me save it and take a look at it. I'm probably using two names for the same. So here are formulas. Okay, perfect. Yes, I need to change this. So no problem. Let me go back here. And in the bottom here, OpenAI response is going to be like this dot text. And let's change this name to suggestion. So suggestion, and here in my app, I have my hidden label, and my hidden label, there it is, the hidden label in the advanced properties. I'm just connecting variable here, context, action, the label, there it is, OpenAI suggestion, perfect. And here in this one, there is an error, which is error. Still have an error here, which is the error that I have. Oh, I am missing this here. There it is, sorry. So saving, save it. So let's recap what we are going to do. I am going to, when I click the button, I am going to call the flow that I created. I am going to store the values, the response in this variable here. And also once I have this, I have another variable, dot OpenAI response that I have here. This is going to go to another variable that is going to be my main response. So let's save it and let's give this a test. So again, let's do the printer scenario. Printer is broken and my printer can't paint the, I don't know, the blue color. What can I do? So if I go for Ask GPT, this is going to basically invoke the call, and I see here that I have a huge piece of text. So basically it's run the flow, but I have here this JSON format. Yes, and I start to see the comments here missing the parentheses. Thanks a lot. Hey, live coding. Well, this is the fun part. But I have here the output. Hey, here, what I really want here is if your printer cannot print in blue, the most likely cause it does not have a blue toner. Sorry for the crappy messages, but you get the idea. I am literally calling ChatGPT right now. If I go to my flows in this demo account, we are going to see Reactor OpenAI Labs, the one we just created. And hey, this is the one that we just created 40 seconds ago. I can even go here to my flow, and we are going to use this. That's why I open and take a look here at the inputs and the output. So right now I have here the full JSON that I am using on the response. So let me copy this, because what I need to do now, I need to go back to my model. I don't want this crazy and crappy code. I want to process this. I want to get the information that I need. So what I only need here, let's edit our flow. Let's use another type of activity that we have, which is basically the parse JSON. So let's do an action. Let's do JSON. And we are going to use two. So we have here one action for parse JSON operations. Go for it. And it's going to ask me, okay, what is the content that we are going to use? I'm going to use the body from the HTTP call. And then, yes, Brian said parsing JSON with Power Apps. Yes. And this is an easy one. I find some amazing scenarios parsing JSON. I will keep it like this. And hey, super cool. In order to this action understand the JSON, we need to have the schema. The schema is basically kind of, okay, this is the message that you are receiving or sending, and this is the field that you're expecting, the collection, the data types, etc. I don't have the schema, but I can generate the schema from a sample, because I have my sample generated from the previous one. I can use this, and I will have, as an output for this, I will have this action, and I can access to ID to the object to create model choices and more. So if I do this, I have my sample, and I can rename this parse JSON from body. So right now, in the output of my application, instead of returning the body of the HTTP body, I can use another stuff. And if I go here, you will see that I have ID, object, model, text, finished vision, created things. I have a lot of stuff. But if we go back here and take a look at the JSON, we will see that basically the way that this is working, my content is in choices here in this section here, but this is a collection. So I need to parse this information again, because I only want this, and I need to parse this information again, and I need to basically say, okay, I want this, but we may have different responses. I want the first one. So let's use another parse JSON here from the previous one. Oh, let me copy this, because I'm going to use it later. Oh. Here, let me copy this, and I'm going to use another actions for the parse JSON. So in the meantime, let me take a look here. I'm going to cheat in my completed scenario while this is filtering, and I am drinking some tea. So now my it's not showing here. My content will be basically the body for the first one. Remember that we have this full set of choices. So somewhere here I have choices. So you see here that I have choices, but this is a collection. So I need to get the first. I am going to use an expression, and I have several expressions. I am going to use the first function. If I have a collection, it's going to give me the first content of, go to dynamic content of choices. So basically what I am doing here, I'm going to the response that I have at the beginning in the body, go to choices, get the first choices, and that's it. And if I go generate, for example, I have here my example, which is this. So from this activity, I will have text, index, love, and finish. Let's do done. I have this. Let's rename this parse JSON from choice. There it is. And now in the output of the flow, I can go here and I will see that, hey, I have here the text. This is the one that I want, the text, not the finished reason, not the index. I want the text. If I want to know more, I can even add other values here, other type of outputs, yes, no, file, or whatever, with more information. But with this, it's good enough. So let me do a flow checker. Yes. There it is. I am saving. It should be working. OpenAI response. I didn't change anything. So now I fix my my flow. My flow is processing this. So this should be good enough to run this. If I run again my ticket and I ask ChatGPT, I should get, once the call is done, I should get just the text. So I will see here that, hey, this is kind of cool. In my printer can print the blue color, then you might need yada, yada, yada. So as you see, as simple as adding a flow, in this case, a flow in my application. The flow is not very complicated. It only has an HTTP call to JSON parsing activities where we filter and get the specific information, and that's it. I have it here. Close with us, yes, and I have it here. I can even start to use this. I can even start to do more, but kind of you get the idea of, hey, this is how you can call ChatGPT. If I go back here to my flow, the one that I created, I have here the two history, the two runs, and if I can go deeper and start to look at the process history, and I have my HTTP call with the input and the big output, the first JSON, the output that I have here, the second JSON working, and the output, where I basically have text, index, love, and finished reasons, and I have, of course, at the end, I have, hey, this is the output that you have. This is the output that you need. So this is kind of an easy one, but you can take a look how this works. By the way, let me go back to my account. Where is my browser? Somewhere here. There it is. You can see the pricing here, and the pricing for these models. You see that if you want to generate images, and again, we are going to do image generation demos in future sessions where we talk about virtual agents and other power apps, but this is the price of the images. The same for the language models, where you can see that $0.0004 for ADA is for 1,000 tokens. When you are making requests for each one of these, the same for Curie, it's not very expensive at all. I can show you later, but I need to open this in another window and try to see if there is no private information there. I can show you my current status right now, which I am not spending a lot of money here, but it's kind of nice. So what about, not here, what about the other sample? What about the other power app, the one that we have? This is kind of working. I can publish this and we have this up and running. But what about the other one, the one that I want to make a kind of a more intelligent call? Let's leave this. So this one, the shootouts tablet reactor. So let's edit this one. Parra says that red hair set. Yes, sadly I don't see emojis here, but I get your point. So this other one, this is the one that I show you that we have everything, that we have select a person, select the type of shootouts or kudos, and then create a message. So how we are going to create a message? So I was testing. I have here personal message. I already have a variable defined here. That is the one that is later going to be copied on the main screen. So if I add here something like, hello, this is Bruno, or hola en español, si quieren. I speak Spanish. So if I get here and I run my app, if I get here, let's run from the screen, from the beginning. I start here, sorry, need to do the ABCs. So let's do the news let's do for Adele. No, I am Adele. For Isaiah or for Miriam, I don't know. Miriam for helpful feedback, yes. And I click generate. This is go with hello, this is Bruno, but this is the moment that I want to use my flow. So I already created the flow to work with OpenAI. I already created in the last 10 minutes. So I am going to add the flow, and I am going to add the Reactor OpenAI Labs. So I can call right now this, this flow. I can reuse flow. I mean, if you want, you can have the same. This is up to you. If you want to have one flow per application and isolate this, it's the same. I'm going to reuse the same one because at the end, it's the same code that I want to do to the API, and I want to process this. But I am not going to send a full sentence here. What I am going to ask ChatGPT is, hey, create a shootout, a kudos message for this person. And I'm going to replace this person with the name of the person that we selected, and focus on and I see a question from Jesus here. I am going to answer your question later. Yes, not this. Let me shoot here. So Jesus is asking if we are able to train our own data model and use Power or data to grab that only. Yes, you can do it. If you host your model and you have something similar, you can do this. If you want to train your model with these GPT-3 scenarios, Azure OpenAI services may help you a lot. But we are not going to cover training and using model here. I will be happy to do a different session in the future. But keep, yes, the answer. So as I said, so right now I need to do something a little more complex. I need to go to this. I need to go to this. I need to create a bigger message. So let me go to my formula here, and let me show you how I have here everything. So this is, I'm going to write this. This is too big to write, but this is what I am going to create. I'm going to create a variable. It's going to be named OpenAI prompt, and I'm going to start to concatenate. So I'm going to ask, create a full message that is going to say, create a shootout or praise message for a colleague name, and I'm going to ask the select user display name. Under the category, I am going to use the category. Remember that this application support kudos or shootouts for helpful, and I can't remember the other categories. And then using the following, and I am going to add here the text 1, 2, and 3 from the app. And this is the string. This is the string that I am going to show. Let's do this. Let's OpenAI prompt. Let's show this. If I build this, let's show how it is. So I have Miriam. I will say she always helped me when I'm running behind. Ask, I don't know. I am making this up. Also, why Miriam is amazing. She makes me laugh a lot, and this is a Miriam that I know, and I will go back to a Miriam that I know. She always helps me, she makes me laugh, and she is the best partner to play video games. I don't know. So when I click generate, this is the sentence that we are going to send to OpenAI service, to the DaVinci model. Create a shootout or praise for colleague named Miriam. Oh, sorry. Wrong button. Miriam. under the category help with feedback using the following pieces of information. See all we have here. So this is the one that I want to use and send to ChatGPT. So once I have this, instead of doing the notify and showing this, we already seen how this works. Let's do set OpenAI Result, and let's do the name of Reactor, OpenAI runs. Here in the input, I need to use this code, this OpenAI prompt. So I am going to use this. Now I am going to add the second parenthesis. Thanks everybody who helped this. And in the message, I am going to use this result. And remember that we have here OpenAI response. So kind of a big formula, but easy to understand. First couple of lines, build the message to send to OpenAI. And by the way, we can validate that we have text here, or there is no text here, add this or not that. There is a lot of room for improvement here, but we create a full and more complex message. We send the message to the OpenAI GPT-3 model, to the Vinci one, get the response, and we use the response here in the photo. So let's give this a try in the current state. Oh, I couldn't close this. There it is. Let's give this a try. Generate. I'm going to show. Oh, I leave the notify just to see the full there. But hey, I'm always grateful for Miriam Graham's help when I'm running behind on tasks. Not only that, but she makes me laugh a lot. It's great to have her as a partner to play video games too. She's truly the best. I like it. Kind of works. I can run the full app if I want here right now. And basically this full app, when I do next, and it will send the message for this person. But wrapping up, I was aiming to have this in 40 minutes. I am in 43. Wrapping up, what we've seen today is that, hey, we have here in the OpenAI world, we have the chance to use these APIs. There is a lot of documentation to read here. There is a lot of scenarios, fine-tunings, embedding, moderation, error codes, text completion. So we can do a lot of stuff. We don't need to be a programmer to do this. We just need to understand how to make a call. And we did this in a very simple way using a Power Automate. And we basically send some info, analyze the info, and then parse the response. Depending on the service that you call, you need to probably change these two activities. If we have an image, it's a little more tricky, a little more complicated. Not complicated, it's different. But once we have this, hey, we can start to use this model in different activities. This is the one that we just created. Let me publish this application. We can start to see this. And hey, at any moment, once we start to use the flow, we can start to see in the history of the flow how it works. And hey, this is the input, this is the output. Sometimes if the schema change, we probably need to change the parse, the Json parse, but this is it. This is a super simple way to call this. So Alexia just shared a couple of links to a survey. If you have questions, please give us some feedback there. We want to know what we can do better, what we can improve. We love feedback. We always want to do, we try to do this to help. And remember, we are also going to, let me go here to show you this. Where is the link? There it is. So we are also going to, I can't copy this, sorry. Alicia, can you paste this in the chat so I can copy? We are OpenAI Power Platform Series. Oh, I think I am smart enough. IKI.ms. OpenAI Power Platform Series. So if you want to know more, we are going to run 3 sessions here, the best of Power Automate, Power Apps, and Power Virtual Agent, where we are going to see similar example like this one, but using other models, working with images, and hey, using stuff with code and more. This is going to happen on March. On March, we have our low code, no code month. So this is kind of the idea. And hey, this is one of the topics that I am more passionate right now because it has a lot to do. I see a couple of questions here. So Will is asking, will Microsoft be coming out with its own standard connector to OpenAI? I hope so. I was asking around, couldn't get. I'm guessing that this in the plan. It's not yet. It's not there yet. If you go here, I know that there is some third-party connectors. If I go here to step and I search for OpenAI, so we have a couple here for independent publishing. So this is not a Microsoft one. This is a third party who created this. They are in preview also. Internally, I think they work very similar what I just showed. So it's kind of like this. So I'm guessing that yes, really don't know the dates. And I am looking forward because it will probably help us to avoid a lot of JSON parsing, security, and more. So that's kind of the idea, but that's a great question. And as I said, LinkedIn says thanks. No, thanks for this. And as I said, join me in the future sessions where you can see, where we are going to see more scenarios, where we're going to see more stuff to do. It's a pleasure. Super fast one. Have a great Thursday or Friday, or if you're watching this offline, the day that you're watching this. See you next one, and follow us on Twitter, on MicrosoftReactor.com, and other places. Thank you very much. Goodbye.